Getting a loan in crypto or earning interest is really easy, and I'm going to show you how on the example of Aave. Aave is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, DeFi or decentralized finance protocols right now that you can use just like that. Connecting with MetaMask, agreeing to the terms, and that's it, you're in. So if you go to the website aave.com, then you will see basically this thing. You will see that there's $10 billion liquidity locked in Aave across 7 networks and over 13 markets, which is pretty amazing. People are really using Aave for different things. So as you can see, you can take a loan and do a bunch of other cool stuff. Basically, there's a docs, you can read everything. Everything is transparent here. A bunch of networks you can use. So for example, Ethereum is the main one, but you have a bunch of layers too as well, which is pretty cool. And once you click launch app and agreeing to the terms, you'll be taken to the application, and that's it. Aave is really easy. First of all, you can choose one of the networks. I have nothing on Ethereum right now, but I have something, I guess, on, for example, Avalanche or Arbitrum, I guess. So yeah, you can see that I have like almost one AVAX on Avalanche. So I could basically go and supply that, and that can be a collateral. Supplying means that it's locked in Aave, but I can start borrowing on the other side. So say I'll supply that, and then I'll be able to borrow. And you can see all the APIs, meaning APY basically means how much you will earn per year. That's around 24%. Plus, I'm earning additional AVAX tokens as well, I think, or VAVAX, actually, yeah, wrapped AVAX on top of that, meaning there's 4.3% in total, I guess, because there's an AVAX reserve giving additional prizes to the market. The same thing, I could go to, for example, I guess Arbitrum. I have something. As you can see, yeah, I have close to 0.001 ETH. I can see the APY. It's much smaller, right? So usually, the smaller the APY, the more people are actually using that the other way, meaning they either borrowing that, or it's just a super liquid market, not a really risky asset, and so on. So more risky assets have higher APY, and risky means that the price is more volatile or stuff like that. Again, I can supply that on Arbitrum, right? And then I could take a loan. I could borrow one of the other coins. So why would I do that? Basically, people are borrowing. So because all the loans here are over collateralized. So over collateralized loan means that you put more than you're taking the loan. It probably doesn't make sense if you're coming from the ordinary world, because we usually take a loan in order to, like buy a house or something like that, and we usually take much more than we put in, because we put in like 10% and we get that 90% of loan. Here it's the other way around. So you put like 100%, right? But you can only take up to like 75% or 80% of the loan of the asset. So if you put in like $1,000, you can only take $800 worth of loan. Does it make sense? Yes, if you know what you're doing. So basically, people are taking loans here because, for example, they don't want to sell ETH, they don't want to sell a particular cryptocurrency. So for example, if I'm like super huge believer in ETH, I would supply that, and then I would, for example, like take the loan in DAI, in a stable coin. So this is a way to actually have the liquidity. I could use that DAI. But then I could, if ETH goes up in price, then basically I still holding the ETH. I'd be able to pay my debt, and I could use that DAI for something else. I could use that DAI, for example, to buy more ETH and supply that. And people are doing that. People are basically, you can do that multiple times actually. You put like one ETH, you borrow some money, buy more ETH with that, supply that, borrow more, and so on. So you can over leverage your position. Not recommended, super risky. In a bull market that might work. In a bear market as we are in right now, it's very risky, and probably you get liquidated, because if your borrows will go over 80% of your collateral, of the value of your collateral, then basically you are forcefully liquidated. Aave is taking some percentage of your position, and you're getting whatever is left. But yeah. Taking loans makes sense. Also, you don't have to take a loan to really use Aave. So you can just supply. That's perfectly fine. And you will basically, this is how yield farming works. You basically having this yield coming from the asset that you supply. So for example, going back to Avalanche, you can see that you can earn with the additional rewards 4.3% per year, which is pretty cool. But you can, as you can see, if I were to borrow that, I would be getting 6.7 or 6.8% almost of the loan. So yeah, you can go through the market, see how like different APIs work and how high they are. Another tactic with that kind of a DeFi would be, you know, to supply one asset that gives you a lot of APY, but borrow another which gives you much lower API. Of course, that's also risky because you have to beware of the prices of particular assets, but sometimes it works. So yeah, you can go for different markets, see the different APIs, how much is borrowed in particular assets. As you can see right now, people are borrowing mostly stable coins. Most of that is borrowing stable coins. If I were to go on our Ethereum, then basically total market size 6.5 billion. So you can see mostly it's Ethereum on Aave. And basically you have the total borrowed. If I were to, I'm going to, yeah, so the total borrowed is basically close to 1 billion is borrowed in Ethereum, but also I have 400 millions in USDC, 250 millions in Tether, and so on. So there's a bunch of things here that are really interesting. You can also just staking Aave, their token. You have governance. So there's a bunch of voting going on. And you can also read the FAQ, join the community on Discord, and so on. So a bunch of cool things. But really, the application is super easy to use. This is really the portal into all the DeFis. If you want to start with decentralized finance, then Aave is the first step to go. Really, you just need a MetaMask, go in and just supply whatever you have in order to start gaining some yield on whatever assets are there. So yeah, having said that, beware out there because of course DeFi is super risky. This is purely for educational purpose, of course, but check it out. The protocols themselves are everything you can read about it. It's super transparent. You can talk to the team, talk with the community. That's really great. Subscribe to the channel and see you in the next episode.